Over-the-range microwaves can be set up to recirculate air or can be vented outside using ductwork. The original Panisonic, installed in 1990, was vented through the top of the cabinet. Flexible ductwork is not allowed. I'll fix this later. I'm installing a GE 1.6 cubic foot microwave. Ensure that your mounting space is compliant to the manufacturer's specs. The bottom rear of the microwave hooks onto this bracket. A paper template is provided so that you can get the bracket positioned correctly. A hole needs to be drilled at position A on the bracket and at position B. The holes at position A and B do not need to go through a stud. One of the holes at position C, that would be between here and here on the bracket, has to be centered on a stud. The studs are the vertical frame behind the walls. To support the weight of the microwave, it needs to be attached to a stud. Typically, a stud is 1.5 inches wide. The typical spacing from the center of one stud to the center of an adjacent stud is 16 inches. You'll need to know where the studs are located on the wall behind the microwave. On the wall behind the microwave, this board is mounted. It supported the old microwave, and it is mounted to the studs. I transferred the measurement to the opposite side of the wall, and I can confirm that the previous installer marked this hole as the stud. Temporarily placing the bracket on the back wall, I can see that holes A and B won't line up with the stud, and that the stud that I marked does fall within the range of C on the bracket. Trim the template down by cutting along the dotted line on the perimeter of it. I've temporarily tacked the template on the wall, and I want to determine the position from the edge of the wall and between the cabinet. I want to determine that spacing. You can see this bracket has a little bit of wiggle room, so you're going to be able to, move this back and forth. To compensate for the forward lean of the cabinets, I lowered the template about 1/8 inch. Down the center of the template, there's a line, and it's marked CL, center line. When I have it positioned correctly, I'm going to mark the center line on the wall. I'll position the edge of my level at that mark, and then adjust the level so that both bubbles are in the center of the lines. A string and plumb bob can also be used to draw the plumb line. And then I drew a pencil line along the edge of the level and extended it down onto the tile. My center line runs directly through the center line for the stud. For the final placement of the template, I've lined up the center line on the template with the plumb line that I drew, moved the template about 1/8 inch lower than the back of the cabinet to compensate for the forward lean of the cabinets. As luck would have it, there's no hole in the C area to line up with my stud, which was at center line. I'll have to drill my own hole onto the bracket at that location. I've noticed that the template is wrong. The hole for A is not positioned correctly. Neither is the one for B. So I'll mark the appropriate locations using the bracket as a template. If drilling into a stud, drill a 3/16 inch hole for the wood screw. there's no stud, drill a 5/8 inch hole for a toggle bolt. I drilled 3/16 inch holes first, and as I thought might happen, I hit wood here, so I'll put a wood screw in here, hit the stud here, so wood screw here, and then this one went right through, so I'll drill it out to a bigger hole, 5/8 inch, so that the toggle bolt will fit in there. Whenever a hole is drilled into a wall, there is a risk that you could drill into a power cable. This outlet is close to the area of where I was drilling my holes. Before drilling, I removed the cover and could see that the cable is fed into the bottom of the box. Residential drywall is typically a 1/2 inch thick. My house is rock lath with plaster, about 7/8 inch thick. Mark the depth of the wall on your drill bit with painter's tape. Drill to the appropriate depth, then poke something into the hole to check for power cables. The bottoms of my cabinets are recessed. If your cabinets are recessed, then you'll have to put a block on the underside at those fastening points. The blocks will prevent the fasteners that go through the top of the cabinets and into the top of the microwave from bowing and bending the metal. I'll use the blocks from my previous microwave install. The upper cabinet template gets installed with this edge against the back wall, and if it's roof vented, you'll have to cut out a hole. Mine's already done from the previous install. I fastened the upper cabinet template in place, and I've aligned the center lines of both templates. I'll drill a 3/8 inch hole at J and at K. If the holes in the cabinets from the previous oven overlap and are large, just use some washers. Orient the blower motor for your application. You'll have to flex this plate to put the damper together. Then attach it with the 2 screws. After you have the holes drilled on the bottom of your cabinet and you have the bracket mounted on the wall, what's going to happen is you're going to lift the microwave and you're going to hook it onto those hooks, and that's going to hold the microwave in place while you swing it up. Once the microwave's pushed up into place, you'll need to drop these 2 bolts down through the holes. Hopefully they line up and secure the top of the microwave to the bottom of the cabinet. I hope you found this video helpful. A thumbs up is always appreciated. Click on the channel name, Know How Now, to find other videos, and thanks for watching.